Jeff Bezos just filed for bankruptcy. Not a joke. Not a headline typo. Not a tax loophole where the richest man on earth technically owes money. Actual, legal. Please stop calling me, sir, bankruptcy. The man who owns rockets, newspapers, mansions, a $500 million yacht, and roughly 12% of your monthly paycheck, broke, overnight, poof. And if you think this only affects him, buckle up. Because when a $200 billion man falls, he doesn't fall alone. He takes the entire economy down the elevator with him. Let's paint the picture. Jeff wakes up, puts on his little vest, sips his $40 green juice, checks his phone, and sees a notification from his bank that just says, insufficient funds. He laughs. Because obviously it's a glitch. He's Jeff Bezos. He invented buying things. Except it's not a glitch. His accountant is crying. His lawyer isn't picking up. And somewhere in Seattle, a 22-year-old intern is Googling how to tell your boss he's poor now. By 9 a.m., Amazon stock has dropped 40%. By 10 a.m., CNBC anchors are speaking in tongues. By 11 a.m., Elon Musk has tweeted a single laughing emoji and gained $8 billion from it. And you? You're still trying to return that air fryer you bought in 2025. Here's the thing nobody wants to admit. You don't just shop on Amazon. You live on Amazon. The average American household orders from Amazon 74 times a year. That's more often than most people call their parents. Amazon Web Services runs 32% of the entire internet. Netflix, Airbnb, Zoom, half the apps on your phone, and yes, probably the government website you use to file your taxes. Bezos owns the Washington Post, Blue Origin, Whole Foods, MGM Studios, Ring cameras that watch your porch, Alexa devices that listen to your arguments, Kindle books that judge your reading choices at 2 a.m. He's not a person. He's infrastructure. You wake up on an Amazon Basics pillow, drink coffee from an Amazon-delivered mug, watch a show on Prime, and fall asleep to Alexa playing rain sounds. Congratulations. You've been Bezos-pilled since 2011. Then it happens. 9:47 a.m. Eastern. The filing hits the SEC website. Amazon's stock circuit breaks. Trading halts. Jeff Bezos is officially broke. And the internet, the entire internet, takes one collective breath and whispers, oh no, hour one. Twitter breaks. Not metaphorically, actually breaks. Because Twitter runs on AWS. So does Reddit. So does half the news trying to report on it. The internet is trying to talk about the internet dying using the internet. Beautiful. Hour two. Amazon warehouses stop scanning. 1.5 million employees stare at their handheld scanners like they've just been handed a haunted brick. Hour three. Your package that was out for delivery is now in legal limbo. Somewhere, a driver is holding your protein powder hostage and doesn't know why. Hour four. Whole Foods raises the price of a single organic avocado to $47. Nobody stops them. Nobody can stop them. There is no manager to speak to. The manager is also bankrupt. Hour six. You try to ask Alexa what's happening. Alexa responds, I'm sorry, I don't work here anymore. And honestly, that's the most emotional breakup you've had in years. By nightfall, hedge fund managers are drinking straight from the bottle. Reddit is having a religious experience. And your dad texts you, so does this mean I still get my Prime shipping? Yes, Dad. That's the biggest question here. Day two. Netflix goes down, then Hulu, then Disney+, because they all run on AWS. Americans, for the first time since 2007, are forced to make eye contact with their families. Casualties are high. Day three. Small businesses that sold on Amazon collapse. That's not a metaphor. 60% of Amazon's sales come from third-party sellers. That's 2 million businesses. Gone. Overnight. Your cousin who started a candle brand is now living in your basement. Day four. The stock market loses $2 trillion in value. Retirement accounts evaporate. Your 401k is now a 40 what? Day five. Blue Origin employees find out they haven't been paid. One of them looks up at a rocket and says, so, do we get to keep it? Day six. The Washington Post publishes a front-page article about its own owner going broke. The headline, we regret to inform you. It's the most self-aware journalism in decades. Day seven. Amazon delivery drivers form a union, then a militia, then a small sovereign nation. They now control 3 zip codes in Ohio. Week 2. the yacht gets repossessed, not by a bank, by a group of TikTokers who crowdfunded $2 million and decided it was content. They're now sailing it to Ibiza. Live streaming the entire thing. 40 million people watch. Bezos watches too, from his phone, which is also being repossessed. Week 3. Ring cameras across America go dark. Suburban parents lose the ability to spy on Amazon drivers. Karen has nothing left to post about. She takes up pottery. It doesn't help. Week 4. At Amazon's warehouses are auctioned off. One is bought by Walmart. One is bought by Costco. One is bought by a guy named Dave, who had a feeling this day would come. Dave is now a billionaire. Nobody knows how. Week 5. Alexa devices are being sold on eBay as vintage listening artifacts. Collectors pay $600 for one. They plug it in. It whispers Jeff's last words, "I should have bought Bitcoin." Week 6. The economy has restructured. There is no more 2-day shipping. There is only eventually shipping. Americans have forgotten what convenience feels like. They're reading books, actual books, with pages. It's terrifying. And here's where it gets truly ridiculous. Jeff Bezos, the man who once owned a spaceship, is now working at a Whole Foods, his Whole Foods, as a cashier. Because it's the only place that would take him. He's scanning kombucha for a woman who doesn't recognize him and complains that the avocados are too expensive. He wants to tell her he used to own the avocados. He used to own the store. He used to own the concept of buying avocados online. But he doesn't. He just smiles. Beep, beep, beep. Great news. The world's second richest man is now asking if you'd like to sign up for the rewards program. Fresh start, new career, character development. His name tag says, Jeff. Someone asks if that's ironic. He says, no, just biblical. Meanwhile, that TikToker militia in Ohio has declared him their king. He declines. They insist. He's now the reluctant monarch of 3 zip codes and a Costco parking lot. His crown is made of Amazon packing tape. And somewhere in a boardroom, Elon Musk is laughing so hard he's crying. Then he remembers he also owns companies that could crash. He stops laughing. He stares into the middle distance. He orders a green juice. The circle of billionaires is complete. But here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. Would it actually be bad? Because for one strange, quiet moment, America would slow down. You'd walk into a local bookstore instead of one clicking. You'd meet the guy who owns the hardware store on your block. You'd learn his name. You'd learn he has a dog named Biscuit. You'd wait for things. And in waiting, you'd want them more. You'd cook because you had to. You'd fix things because you couldn't just replace them. You'd talk to your neighbor because there was no algorithm feeding you outrage instead. We built an empire on convenience. And convenience, it turns out, is a very expensive kind of loneliness. Maybe one man shouldn't own the shelves, the servers, the satellites, and the story. Maybe when a giant falls, it's not a tragedy. It's a reminder that we were never supposed to lean on him this hard in the first place. And honestly, the saddest part isn't that Bezos went broke. It's that we didn't notice how much of our lives he already owned until he wasn't there to run them. Empires don't fall because they run out of money. They fall because we forget we built them. If this video somehow survived getting hosted on AWS, hit subscribe. We're building a little club of people who like thinking about the impossible before it becomes the news. And in the comments, if you had 24 hours to spend Jeff's last billion before the banks took it, what are you buying? Wrong answers only. The weirder, the better. I'll read the best ones like they're my will. See you in the next collapse.